kids had it for dinner. Healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes. $30 off your first box when you go to HelloFresh.com/Colin. HelloFresh.com/Colin. Free shipping, too. Good food. Sausage pizza last night. So last night I sat down and, I didn't need to watch the whole game, but I got enough of what I needed to see on Cleveland and Golden State. And I've watched every time they played this year. I've watched. And my takeaway is Cleveland's okay. They're okay. They're not going to beat Golden State, but I've watched them a couple times play the Warriors this year. And I think Golden State has just more young elite athletes. Cleveland plays their tails off, hangs around for about 3 quarters, and then Golden State pulls away, as they should. They've got Steph's a superstar, Durant's a superstar, Clay's absolutely an A player. There are nights he's an A. There are some nights he's a little less than an A. And Draymond Green's one of the best B-plus guys in the league. And they've got a great coach. So Golden State's better than Cleveland. Listen, here's the way I look at the current problems. There's a story out today that there's a lot of concerns in Cleveland. There's dysfunction. They're worried about the aging roster. Players don't think they'll be able to correct it. But you can kind of jump on 2 bandwagons with LeBron James. You can bail on him and say this is the year it falls apart. I have not done that in 7 years, and I've been right 7 straight years because January is the trouble month for LeBron. This is the month. Last year, they were worse than this year. Last year, they got beat by 33 by the Warriors on MLK Day. Yesterday, they were very competitive. The year before, David Blatt was getting fired. So January in Cleveland, LeBron comes out of Christmas. There's that sort of malaise post-holiday, and they're just not very good. And they weren't very good last year at this time. I kind of take away, when I watched last night, I'm not going to bail. Again, there's the I'm bailing, or there's the in LeBron I trust. This is the same thing I say about every September with Brady has problems. You can bail on them, or you're like, I think they'll solve the problems. And generally New England does. Always they do with Belichick Brady. So I watched last night, and I'm like, they're good enough. Kevin Love's a great player. LeBron's an amazing player. Isaiah Thomas was quoted after the game last night saying, I need about 15 to 20 games to get this baby figured out where I'm at 100%. So I'm fine. I'm not bailing on them. They're good enough to win the East. That's what I believe. I think they'll get into a final in the Eastern Conference with Boston. I think it'll be very competitive. I go back to a very simple thing. Who's going to guard LeBron? Boston doesn't have anybody. They traded away Jay Crowder. Toronto had P.J. Tucker. They don't have him anymore. I mean, it's real simple. Who's going to guard LeBron? Now, the Warriors have guys that can guard LeBron. Even Houston has some interesting matchups. Boston doesn't have anybody to guard LeBron. You can't go into a series against LeBron and say, I like my chances with 19-year-old Jason Tatum, 21-year-old Jaylen Brown, marginally athletic Al Horford, Kyrie Irving, and nobody to guard LeBron. But Chris Broussard came on earlier. He said, they got bigger problems in Cleveland than the Warriors.
They have to realize losing to Kyrie Irving and Boston or not getting as far as them, that's worse than losing to Golden State in the finals, particularly for LeBron. I mean, Kyrie left you. He upstaged, left you, and then he would beat you. That would look bad. So if it takes them telling themselves that, then that's what they have to do to get motivated.
Listen, the trade deadline is it's February 8th, and I think they're going to go out and make a big move, and I think they need to. It's interesting. We were talking earlier. In order to get Paul George, the Cavaliers would have to give up that number 1 pick they have. God, I would do it in a second. Folks, who was the number 1 pick last year? Markelle Fultz. He can't play. Shoulder injury? No. Game's in his head. He can't shoot. See the video that was released this weekend? I mean, I like Lonzo Ball. I like Ben Simmons. I like De'Aaron Fox. You wouldn't roll the dice if you're Cleveland on Paul George to give up a number 1 pick. You had a number 1 pick. It was Anthony Bennett. You had a number 1 pick, Kyrie. He wasn't working until LeBron arrived. Like, this idea that, oh, my God, I can't give up a number 1 pick. I've said it in the NFL. I would trade out of the first round in the NFL every single time unless there was a Andrew Luck level quarterback, Sam Darnold, to me, level quarterback, and I needed a quarterback. I think picks are wildly overrated. Completely. All sports, I think they're overrated. You look at baseball, you look at hockey, you look at the NBA, you look at the NFL. Come on, man, it's the same veteran teams over and over and over and over. And we're all caught up in these draft picks. How many draft picks, number one picks, do the Patriots have on their roster? I would give up a number one pick tomorrow. I've watched that kid at Duke, Begley, that's a terrific player. Yeah, he's a terrific player. He's going to be a 17-point-a-game guy first year in the league. He may be built better for the NBA than college. He's not going to have any influence in the NBA playoffs for 5 years. And I think that kid, he is about as good as college basketball players are now. The kid at Duke, that's about as good as college basketball players are. And he's 5 years. Good God, how many years is Minnesota going to tease us? Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins. How many years? Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin. If I could get Paul George and I could go for it, even knowing he was going to leave me and I could get one more title and thrill the fans of Cleveland, see ya. I'd give up picks any day. Prospects. Half of them don't pan out. Christine Vaduz.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Well, the first story that I have here is about the trade deadline for the Cavs, and there's a report that the Cavs want to keep that pick because they are nervous that they're going to have to start rebuilding if LeBron James decides to leave, and they have no indication that he plans to stay at this point, so they want to hold on to that pick. I kind of agree with you, though, actually. I think if this is your last year with LeBron, go for it. Go for it.
Listen, Cleveland, we have a history here. It's not a place players want to go. So if you can push your chips to the table, it's almost like this, Christine. Let's say you and I were poker players, and you were great. Mm-hmm. And I was incredibly marginal. Mm-hmm. But you had a history for 20 years in the World Series of Poker. You were almost always in the final table. You were really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't. And I finally get to the table last year out of kind of a break. And this year I have a chance again. I'm going to put all my chips in and go for the win. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be here next year. My history tells me I'm lucky to be at the final table. So I'm a big believer. If you're Buffalo Bills, when you have a chance in your Buffalo to win, because we know that free agents don't want to go there, you just go for it. Because in 100 years, that's the team that makes everybody in Cleveland feel better about themselves. That's the year.
It's just, if you're going to destroy your future, though, that's the only thing I would think about. You've got to make sure that you're not going all in right away.
Oh, wait, Christine, John makes a point in my ear. It's only the 7th pick right now.
It has a 3.6% chance of being the number one pick.
Yeah, I mean,
but
so
it could be.
But you're giving up, I mean, essentially, so you're not willing, you're never going to have a player as good as LeBron. So if you have a chance for Paul George to come in, how great would it be to live in Cleveland? I got Isaiah Thomas, LeBron James, Paul George, and Kevin Love.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think that even if they added Paul George, they'd beat the Warriors.
I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be,
maybe takes it from 4 to 5 games,
Oh,
honestly.
I don't know.
And if you think LeBron's leaving, then Paul George is definitely leaving too.
Well, no, if LeBron did, he would.
Then you're just going to lose
But I don't think deep in the recesses of his soul, I don't think LeBron wants to leave again. I think LeBron may feel like, I'm tired of losing to the same team. But I don't think, listen, LeBron came back to Cleveland. He likes it there. It's where he grew up. It's where his mom was. I mean, listen.
Is that why he bought a house
I
here?
think, he left initially because they couldn't get him a second decent player. He's like, okay, I got to win some rings here. I'm going to go to Pat Riley.
If he loved Cleveland so much, he wouldn't spend the entire offseason here.
Paul George, by the way, has a player option for next year. So LeBron could always say, I'll sign for one more year. We'll give it one more run, and then everyone can leave.
Yeah. I just think when you don't have a history of winning, when it's right in front of you, push the chips in and go for it.
Okay. So Lane Johnson and Chris Long, after the Saturday game when they beat the Falcons, they were wearing these German Shepherd masks because they were being called underdogs.
Yes.
So they started wearing these masks, and then all the Eagles fans went crazy about this and started purchasing the same ones. And they come from a distributor in China, and they're like sold out everywhere in Philadelphia online. You can't get them anymore. Like thousands of masks were purchased by Eagles fans. And now the Eagles are telling everyone, you are welcome to wear them now to the NFC Championship game this weekend. They actually sent out a tweet that said, please, wear your masks. Just make sure you take them off at security. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see. And also weird for the Vikings to look up into the stands and see a bunch of German Shepherd masks.
Yeah, that's odd. It's actually very funny to have a guy that's that big, a body that wide, and a tiny, thin mask is actually very comical.
I actually am really excited about watching the game and looking into the stands. It could be weird. And finally, this is a story that you wanted me to do.
Yes.
Danica Patrick has confirmed that she is dating Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I asked Christine, run this story.
Yeah, and Danica Patrick is a Bears fan, so that makes things a little awkward.
Oh, that's odd.
Yes, but she said she will root for the Packers now.
Where's this picture at?
I don't know. This is from TMZ Sports, and this is the backs of them together.
What do you think of that? You know, Scottsdale over the weekend. Can I just say this? I don't know either of these people. I've met
Danica many times.
Yeah, she's shorter.
Yes, she's very short. Like she comes up to here on me.
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
Okay. Yeah. So let me defend Aaron Rodgers on this.
Why do you have to defend him? What's wrong with him?
Well, people are
Danica
saying
Patrick?
now he only dates celebrities. I read that story. Like Aaron only dates celebrities.
She's also an athlete.
Well, also, he's in Green Bay.
Yeah.
You kind of got to leave town to date, don't you?
What are you trying to say about the women of Green Bay? You can't date them?
Well, it's not a huge pool. There's like 19 people that live in the city, isn't there? How many people?
Terrible thing to say.
Well, how many people live in Green Bay?
Enough. There are single women there who are just fine.
That's
a terrible thing that he has to leave Green Bay just to find a woman.
I think he is 100,000 people. That's that many people in my neighborhood. Yeah, and that's only on game day.
Listen, I bet you the quality of people in Green Bay are a lot better than the quality of some of the people around here.
I'm just saying when you're an American icon, you would probably date from a larger dating pool, wouldn't you? Doesn't that seem realistic?
I don't know. Is that how you operated?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I'm not Aaron.
Right, but still, on a smaller scale, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Well, I mean, he's dated a celebrity actresses. He's Aaron Rodgers.
So then once you go celebrity, you can't go back?
Well, you can, but I would think, wouldn't you be somewhat surprised if I said to you, I mean, Tom Brady is married to a supermodel.
Yeah,
that's what American.
Dating an actress.
Well, by the way, Russell Wilson is married to a superstar.
Yeah, but do you know how many football players are married to regular
Oh, by the way,
people?
Alex Smith is married to a model. Have you noticed who the quarterbacks in America are dating? They're dating like models and supermodels. And have you ever seen who Cristiano Ronaldo dates? It's not the girl in his hometown. He dates like supermodels.
But those are just a few examples. I think the majority.
Who's Blake Griffin dating now?
Kendall Jenner.
Yes, exactly. That's what young male American stars do. They date,
maybe they can relate to each other a little better.
Of course.
I don't know. But, if he wants to date a regular person, too, that's totally fine. Not that Danica's not regular, but,
Well, she's a star. She's a big name in America.
Yeah, she is.
Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie
Tony
News.
Gonzalez around the corner. A fresh new year has started, and you're setting